Norway, a nation of nature lovers. We roam the highest mountains, the vast plains, and the rugged coastline. This is where we thrive. This is where we challenge ourselves, seek inspiration, and recharge to sustain our daily lives. Being on the move, getting out, up, and forward is something we take for granted, even when our physical abilities aren't entirely up to the task. Nature is also where many turn when life feels darkest. When life issues feels too heavy to bear, when nothing makes sense anymore, and when one's own existence feels like a burden. Some seek nature to think, others go out, never intending to return. Many of them are in urgent need of medical aid, and time is critical. If something happens that prevents us from making it back to the community, we need help from others. So, have you ever thought about who these helpers are and what motivates them? My name is Ellen. I work as a communications advisor, have 2 children, a husband, and an ordinary life like most others. I love spending time at home, have less FOMO as I grow older, and I'm more focused on finding peace and harmony in family life. And yet, this stands in stark contrast to what occasionally happens on a day with a rescue mission. So picture this. I'm at a summer house with my family, and over the past few hours, I've been following a search operation located about an hour away. I can't participate because I had a few glasses of wine. So, but yet, I switch to virgin drinks, and I slowly start mentally preparing to head out the next day. So the next morning, I check my phone, and I realize that search is still going on, and I pack my gear and leave. In the hallway stands my backpack containing everything I'll need for the next few hours. Lighting equipment, food, emergency radio, warm clothing, and basic first aid supplies. I'm ready for the mission. My family is used to this by now, but I never leave home without a twinge of guilt. My choice of hobby affects the whole family. Actually, hobby is not the right term. It's more of a lifestyle. And when did that happen? What was the defining moment when I could no longer see this as a leisure activity, but as a duty to contribute to society? I think it's a realization that has grown over time, tied to a sense of commitment and responsibility. So, back to the mission. On my way to the meeting point, my thoughts race. Often I have very little information about what awaits me. What is the mission? What do we know about the missing person? How many of my volunteers will be able to help today? They also have families, jobs, and other obligations. We call ourselves a family, the colleagues in the volunteer rescue service. Carpenters, nurses, teachers, engineers, every layer of society is represented. And we are united by shared purposes to act quickly, collaborate effectively, and keep a clear head in critical situations. Each of us has dedicated hundreds of hours in training. Under other circumstances, we might never have formed a connection. Many of us are very different. We resemble a family. We didn't choose each other, but we have each chosen an interest that unites us. We have our fair share of people with different characteristics that needs to be handled in a certain way. And that's kind of like in the family, isn't it? What binds us together is our shared interest and the tasks, goals, and experiences that come with it. A sincere motivation. So back to the ongoing search. When we arrive at the search site, I'm aware of the following. The search has gone on for a long time, and the large area has been roughly covered in the dark without any results. So we have to search the area again using fine search methodology. And a search like that takes time and resources. But it's absolutely necessary to be sure that we haven't overlooked anything. We have various tools to help us search for missing persons. We have mapping applications, intelligence logs, and statistics, to name a few. But when we lack concrete information to go on, numbers are crucial. Statistics can guide our search methods, suggest areas of interest, and predict the missing person's movement patterns. So the search parties that we met had been out all night, and they are grateful to be relieved. We do have a description of the missing person: height, weight, hair color, and clothing. And my team is assigned to search an area with extremely dense vegetation. We stand in a line, an arm's length apart, and we're assessing the area, or the sector as we call it. And I remember thinking, this is hopeless. It's impossible to get through. We had to get started, even though motivation wasn't at its peak. And slowly we pushed through the thicket, branches lashing our faces and legs. And the terrain is uneven, making it hard not to stumble. It's a very hot day, clear skies, and the sun is high above us. And 12 meters into the sector, there, a jacket. Almost invisible on the forest floor. The same color as the one worn by the person we are searching for. I shout, "Find!" Everyone stops. This procedure is drilled into us. One person examines the find while the others remain still. We need to gather all evidence, taking care not to disturb vital clues. A search dog might need to continue the job. And as I bend down to take a closer look at the jacket, I realize sensing something beneath the clothing, something curled up, and I recognize the person we were searching for, deceased. Our mission is simple, but it's never easy. We search for those who have lost their way. We bring them missing home, dead or alive. We save lives in the mountains, forests, plains, and waters. Sometimes it's a hiker who has lost his bearings in the wilderness. Other times, it's a person who has lost her way in life. It is time-consuming work. Our patience and concentration is constantly tested. The outcome is not always what we hope for. Sometimes we arrive too late, or we lack enough information to save the missing in time. It can be heavy to walk away from a mission with a negative outcome, but I rarely dwell on what-ifs, because I know from experience that dwelling on what-ifs is not a healthy way to process events. Instead, I have wonderful colleagues to talk to, and we do our best to take care of each other. Sincere motivation. Motivation comes in many forms. Mine has definitely changed over time. At first, it was the excitement, the challenge, and then it was the camaraderie and the bond. Eventually, it became the sense of self-empowerment and commitment, the knowledge that I truly matter, that I have skills that can save lives. The image of the noble, selfless helper doesn't suit me. I find it uncomfortable when people praise me for dedicating my time to good deeds. That's not a story I relate to. I seek the thrill, the challenges, the uncertainty of the tasks we undertake. When I put on this uniform, I take on a role. This symbol on my chest is a promise to help without bias. I often come to think of the story of President Kennedy's first visit to NASA in 1961. He met a janitor carrying a broom and asked what he did for NASA. And the janitor replied, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." It is that simple and that profound. And I hope to inspire many of you by reminding you that every contribution, every effort matters. These days, dark clouds loom on the horizon and the world is entering a new phase. In Norway, we talk about war. We cannot choose only ourselves, we must choose the community. So I ask you, what do you choose? What will be your contribution?